What's good, guys? Welcome in the second try of recording this video, as it recorded itself in the wrong format. So this is how I lost $360 day trading the S&P 500 on the 23rd of December. So coming into pre-market, I was bullish. We had an S&P from this low to this low, and especially on Nasdaq, we had really nice stacked draws on liquidity to the upside. So on market open, we just blast to the upside, Drake candle to the upside. I'm really surprised because recently, I would say over December, from what I remember, we haven't really been manipulating on market open like at all. Or we aren't really manipulating into the opposite direction the same way we did. Just like I feel like even 2 months ago. Now we're kind of just shooting into the direction we are going to go, then manipulating, as in having a retrace, a bigger retrace, and then continuing in the same direction. So what even happens? So we shoot up back up, manipulate London highs. We kind of get a little bit of rejection, but seeing how close we got to them, I know we were gonna take them in the end, same as in here. So on Nasdaq, so why was I even bearish? Why did I take a short if I was bullish? So first of all, I was willing to take a short to this unfilled gap if we inverse this gap on the 5-minute and got some kind of 1-minute confluence, but we didn't get that. By the time we inversed that gap, we came already to this one. So on Nasdaq, we inversed this whole leg. So there was only one gap here, but this huge gap, and created another gap. So what I was thinking that since we already were going down, since Nasdaq did inverse this leg, and I think we even broke the 79% extension. We did, barely, but we did. So we are technically in bearish structure on Nasdaq. I didn't really take it that serious that we didn't inverse it here, and I thought at least on Nasdaq we would take these lows, even make an S&P to go higher, but we didn't end up doing that in the end, as you can see. So what happens after we retrace to the 5-minute gap? We inverse the slow 1-minute gap with great displacement. We create another 1-minute gap. So just set my order at the 1-minute gap, stops here with less risk. I don't think that was even 3/4 of what I would take. So that's I think that would 70% normal risk. So that's 0.7 R lost. I know normally you would risk 500. I didn't even target this because of consistency. On Tradeify, you have consistency, 40% consistency only on the evals. So I couldn't even target this low fully, and I didn't want to heavily under risk. So usually I wait for a rejection, as I did here, I normally wouldn't wait for a rejection off of a rejection. So normally I wouldn't wait for this gap to get rejected first before entering, because that is very demanding of the market in the December conditions. So by the time we could be already here, like in a good scenario where we actually would take this low and I wouldn't get sold out, we could be here in one candle. So obviously I wouldn't enter here, right? So this is like the same if I entered here, just with a little retrace. So I don't really find myself doing really bad today. Like really the only mistake was that I put on the risk on the table. Less risk. I just risked entering a bit off of conviction, but sometimes you just do that. Sometimes you just go a bit riskier than usual. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you are wrong. You're more likely to be wrong than if I waited, but sometimes you just do that. So yeah, this trade actually broke my winning streak since the 12th of September, but you won't always win. This might be kind of crazy to say, but it is actually true. But I'm not really frustrated with this trade, because no matter how much you win, you will give back money to the markets, and I'm hopefully not gonna suddenly have a losing streak since starting documenting the funded journey. So I'm hoping I'm not getting myself on bad luck saying that, but yeah, sometimes you just follow mostly your rules. I basically follow them. Really, no, I wouldn't even consider this that big of a mistake. The bigger mistake, I would say, was not sticking to the bias. Like, yes, recently having a bias wasn't really that helpful, because you could just enter the direction the setup presented and still win. But I mean, why wouldn't I just wait? So here I kind of marked out a setup I would have entered if simply I stuck to my bias. So 5-minute inverse, yes, we didn't inverse these gaps, but we are still not like close to them. We didn't get into them, and yeah, we inverse off on this candle after this like before this candle, so after this one. And then yeah, either here like stops in a place where like right here or right here, as I said. So a bit of a deeper retrace, but off of an inversion. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't wait for a gap to form, like in this trade. So yeah, I don't want this video to be as long as the first one, so that's really all I have to say. To just take your lessons of each trade, and sometimes if you lose, it doesn't always have to be really a loss, because if you really followed your rules and you lost, like if you're proven on like data that how you trade works and you stuck completely to your rules, that's not really a loss. Then if you seriously have no mistake, like objectively you didn't make a mistake, and you're not just saying you didn't because you can't admit that to yourself, then just don't take it to yourself, I guess. As I said, sometimes the market just takes back the money you made, and that's why I'm not really frustrated at this trade. I would still say it was a good trade, maybe except the bias part, but other than that, it was a good trade on paper. So yeah, not definitely trading this week anymore, as it's Christmas week basically. And next week I'm probably not gonna trade the last day of the year, but maybe Monday and Tuesday I will, at least maybe not willing to trade, like being open to take anything, but just looking at the charts. And if a actually good setup, like a really good setup happens, I'll enter. But I will be definitely more careful and maybe down risk a bit next week. But yeah, this week, just take your eyes off of TradingView, off of any trading platform. Just stop. Just don't trade this week. Just take a break from it. It'll be good for your mental health being, and just spend that Christmas with your family if you have the opportunity. Hope everyone does. And yeah, remember what Christmas really is about. And yeah, I wish you guys Merry Christmas. That's, I think, all I have to say. Thank you for staying for this trade recap. And again, Merry Christmas, everyone.